Harrison, owner of Kudos Pantomimes. Lots of concern about pantomimes, obviously, this Christmas. Martin Greenhow, I mentioned, he runs the Mojo group of cocktail bars. Again, some of those red-hot locations, Leeds, Harrogate, Nottingham, Liverpool, Manchester. How's it looking for you this morning, Martin?
It's pretty grim, Jeremy. To be honest, my position on this is it's almost irrelevant which tier we go into, because the extra restrictions that have been imposed make it virtually unviable for us to operate. I've been speaking to numerous colleagues in the industry over the last 24 hours, and there's a great many of us who are simply considering not opening again. It's just not worthwhile. If I give you a real-world example, our site in Manchester, the last Friday it was open before lockdown in Tier 2, if you compare that with the year before, in 2019, that site would have taken approximately £10,000. And that last Friday in Tier 2, it took £175.
Good grief.
Yeah, it simply doesn't stack up. And how things feel right now, and sorry to sound quite annoyed about this, but this really feels as if hospitality is being tortured. And the only parallel I can draw is it's akin to waterboarding. We're closed down, and then we're allowed out for a gasp of fiscal oxygen, and then we're slammed back down again. And all of this is happening with neither rhyme nor reason, no data, no evidence, and it all seems to be being based upon presumptions frankly speaking as one, but by presumptions of middle-aged men with little interest in the survival of our sector. And, we feel like we're being used as fiscal cannon fodder. We're thrown into the breach whenever a sacrifice is required, some form of sop for the government to show action when they're about to make a change. We seem to be the victim that can be thrown to the wolves.
If you're in Tier 2, pubs can open if they, bars, etc., if they serve substantial meals. I don't know where you are on that spectrum.
Well, as I've already said, we have a bit of a mixed bag. Some of our units do serve food to our Nottingham site, our Harrogate site. The others don't. But quite frankly, given that you've got the curfew, which is for much of hospitality, especially us, the curfew, even with this very generous extra hour, and I hope you could hear the sarcasm.
I did, actually, I picked it up, yeah.
Even with that extra hour, we've still lost over 50% of our trading time. We've lost 60% of our occupancy. It simply doesn't stack up now. You add in Tier 2 now, no mixed sixes, and you add in the fact that these people have to have a substantial meal. It's not the experience. I mean, speaking to one of our GMs just before lockdown, she was bemoaning the fact that we can't give people the real experience, and she's quite right. But we were making the best of it.
But we're in the tunnel, but we know there's light. We've got the brilliant group at Oxford, seems to have done the best vaccine. Can you hang on till March?
I speak for myself now. Yes, we will hang on. And the only reason we will hang on is because we've borrowed more money than I ever thought we possibly could. But, of course, the consequence of that is for the next 6 years of my life, we will be, at least the next 6 years of my life, we will be repaying that debt to keep our business in operation, to keep our staff in employment. And quite frankly, it feels like we're being disproportionately disadvantaged. We're happy to do our part, but should we really be picking up this bigger portion of the tab?
What did you make reading the news in the papers today that the MPs are getting a £3,000 a year pay rise?
Rolling my eyes doesn't come across on the radio very well, does it? It's incredibly frustrating. I speak to my colleagues in our industry, and you know what? The majority of them are really resilient, inventive, and dynamic people. And right now, we're being crushed. We're at our wits' end. We're burdened by debt and uncertainty, worn down worn down by a playing field that's constantly in flux. We really don't know where our future lies. And then you've got a few hundred people who decide to take a pay rise. I haven't been paid since March.
Thank you very much. Martin Greenhow runs the Mojo group of cocktail bars in various areas that have got levels of difficulty with COVID. Of course, Leeds, Harrogate, Nottingham, Liverpool, Manchester.